Hello everyone. MSM and University of Northern British Columbia, UNBC, welcomes you to our MSM Agent E-Summit 2020 live. We're all going through the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic, and it has not been easy for all of us. However, we should not let this stop from enhancing our knowledge, improving our minds, and sharpening our skills, and connecting with each other continuously virtually. At UNBC, we bring the excitement of new knowledge to your students and the outcomes of our teaching and research to the world. This session will be taken by none other than our International Recruitment Manager, Richard. Before we start, we would like to brief you through the basic features of the Zoom webinar. There are multiple options in your control panel. Please note that this is a webinar and your videos and mics will be inactive during the session. Participate in the webinar by raising your hands from the raise hand option in your control panel. Any questions related to UNBC, please put up in the Q&A section that appears in your control panel. For any technical questions, you can put those in the chat box. If your questions are not answered during the webinar, we will be sending an email with all the details. We will also be conducting a poll related to UNBC during the webinar. We request you to participate for the same. Now, handing over this to Richard for his quick intro, followed by the presentation of one of our famous research-intensive university, UNBC.
Hi guys, thank you Dashita for the introduction. So I am currently in UNBC right now. It is currently 7 a.m. with us. So I'm gonna do a quick introduction of what UNBC is, followed by a poll question, and then talk about our programs. And we have Badri here, who is one of our students as well, and soon to be alumni of UNBC. So you have a chance to speak with a student from India to see what his experience is like at UNBC, and also what the community has provided for him while he was at UNBC. So we are here from the UNBC campus. So I'm going to take over now and to just go through what UNBC is about. Okay, so just give me a second here. Okay, so UNBC is the University of Northern British Columbia. There's about 96 universities and colleges in Canada, 16 in BC, and there's only one in Northern BC. It's about 1 hour flight away from Vancouver. So if a student wants to stay in Vancouver, they will not be able to transmit or commute between Prince George and Vancouver every day. Okay, and now I'm just going to show you a quick video of UNBC just to give you an example of what it's like in this community. So just a quick video of what UNBC is about. It is a beautiful place, beautiful campus. As you can see here, we're located over the city of Prince George where we overlook it. And behind us is a unique forest that we take our students to do research on all the time, especially in the spring and the fall semester when it's not too cold yet. This is the climate in Prince George, -8 in the daytime, in the winter, that's daytime high. Summer is a nice 25 degrees, but it drops down to about 18 degrees at night, so it's still cool enough for you to sleep without an AC on. We are a true four-season campus or a true four-season city, so you have snow, winter, spring, summer, not like, say, Vancouver or Toronto when you get a lot of rain, even in the wintertime. We are easily 20 minutes away from outdoor. That's Mount Robson. We have the ancient forest. If you like camping, you can easily go camping as well. We also have 299 days of sunshine in Prince George. I don't know if that's important to you guys, but it's very important to me. It also helps lighten the mood when you are in a sunny day. This is just a small map of our city. Prince George is known as a 20-minute city because it's easy to get around. Anywhere you go is 20 minutes or less. Even from the International Airport, which is way down here, to our main campus, which is on top of the hill, it's about 20 minutes, okay? There is shuttles available from the airport to our campus. There's also taxis available. So students have a lot of various options if they want to travel from the airport to our campus. So as I said, UNBC is situated on the top of the mountain. But on top of the mountain, as far as your eyes can see, that's all university land right there. So we do research, professors take students out here all the time. There's many hiking trails that I take during lunchtime in the summertime, just to enjoy the outdoor wilderness. But we're in Prince George, we're in Canada, so it does get cold, so there is snow here, but it's a very lovely summer place. So no matter what your passion is, Northern BC has it all. Now, Prince George and UNBC is located in Prince George as the main campus, but we do have 5 other campuses. So in Fort St. John, Quesnel, Gitchewan, Terrace, and Prince Rupert. We do share campus environment with the other college, Northern College that we have up here. But Prince George is most of the time where the students will come to study their international education. So this is UNBC. This is my favorite time of year. This is fall. Where the colors change, the leaf change, and that's where you get the maple leaf color. We are in Northern BC, so it's going to be cold. On the bright side is all our buildings are connected, which means that once you're inside your building, you don't have to go outside to go to your class. Unlike some schools in Toronto or, for example, if you go to York University, to travel to different buildings, you have to take a bus or whatnot, and you do have to go outside, where ours is all one campus. So we're also award-winning. We've been top 3 in our category for the last 11 years now. And over the last 2 years, we've been in top 2 position. 3 years ago, we were number 1 for 2 years. But over the last 11 years since we participated in the ranking, we have been in top 3 for our primary undergraduate category, according to Maclean's. We're also Times Higher Education ranked top 5% in the world. But in Times Higher Education, top 250 young university, we're also ranked in that as well. And we're only one of 3 universities from Canada in that ranking. So we're top 250 and top 3 in Canada. So we're also one of the universities that's opened by the Queen Elizabeth herself. And also we're the only university in Canada that had that opportunity. So we have students from over 50 countries in a row where we celebrate their internationalization on our campus with events such as Global U. As a research university, now I'm going to explain to you what research university is in a bit. We do have professors and our researchers who are sponsored by our government. So the Canadian Research Chair is a government-sponsored grant, and they nominate professors who are specialists in their field to get these grants. So we also have endowed chairs, the BC Leadership, and Knowledge and Mobilities. On top of that, UNBC is still a small research school. Our faculty to student ratio is 1:8. Now that means that students will get called out if they don't show up in class or they fall asleep in class. Unlike the other research university where the first year students, you could be in 300 to 500 students. Whereas ours, first year program, average class size 62, okay? So the biggest class size we have is 125 seats. So it will never be past 125 seats, okay? We're called Canada's Green University because we focus on environmental programs. That's our specialty, okay? Now, just to give you a little bit of idea of where UNBC ranks in terms of the different types of universities, in British Columbia, there's actually 4 types of universities. There's the medical university, there's the research university, there is the teaching university, and there's a vocational university. So a medical university will be the University of British Columbia, which have a medical school in their program. And they're the only one in British Columbia because the government only approved 1. Now, a research university, there is 4. There's University of British Columbia, Simon Fraser University, University of Victoria, and then there's us, University of Northern BC. We're the youngest and the smallest of the 4 research university. Teaching university will be like Capilano University, will be like Thompson River University, or Vancouver Island University. And a vocational university in BC will be considered something like Kwantlen Polytechnic, BCIT. So there is a big difference. Well, our focus is on research. So more like the IIT of Bombay versus the Gujarat University, which is more of a teaching university, okay? So as a research university, and we focus on environmental programs, one of the specialties that we do here is called tall wood structure. And we have just 2 years ago built what they call Wood Innovation Research Center that costs roughly about $2 million to build, but it allows our Masters of Wood Integrated Design students to do research on tall wood structures. So buildings that are 12-story high that is built completely out of wood and how it impacts the environment. We also speak the green because we are a green university. We have something called a bioenergy plant that saves us from using natural gas or even hydro gas. So with using bioenergy with waste wood pulp, it reduces our fossil fuel consumption by about 85%. On top of that, we also have an athletic program, a basketball and soccer program. So if you have any students who are athletically gifted and they want to see if they qualify and they want to come over to play, do send the Sheeta a video and we'll send it off to our coach. Our coaches like them. They may even offer them a full ride scholarship to come to our university, okay? So this goes for male and female athletes. So these are some of the images that we have. When in the wintertime, they do practice in something called the Northern Sports Center, which is a community and UNBC initiative. It has 2 squash courts, over 50 hours of fitness drop-in, 2 FIFA-approved indoor soccer field, 3 gymnasium. On top of that, it has a 280-meter running track upstairs that encompasses the entire building. So students take advantage of this. Now, if the students don't like this, they can join the student clubs. We have over 120 different types of student clubs available on campus. Anywhere from, we used to have a Harry Potter club. We have something called a nerdy gaming club. We also have composting club, coffee club, and organic produce clubs. On top of that, we have on the very left here, that's a catapult, and that belongs to our physics club. Our physics club has an annual tradition where after October 31st, they gather all the pumpkins that are left out on the streets and they throw them on a catapult to measure the velocity and how the holes will impact them. Our chemistry club and also our medieval clubs, all these are available as well. If the students don't want to join a club, which we strongly encourage, we have over 34 study abroad options in 18 different countries. And international students do qualify for that as well. So you can take your learning beyond the classrooms. You can go to Death Valley, you can go to Antarctica, do soil sampling in Hong Kong, or go to Peru or Argentina to do archaeological digs, or you can just go to Italy and enjoy a semester abroad. So we're big enough to offer groundbreaking research, yet we're small enough for you to get involved in the first year. Now, what does that mean? as a research university, research is paramount as part of our DNA as an institution. So as a small institution, we allow first-year students to get involved in our research, whereas in a bigger research university such as University of British Columbia or Simon Fraser University, you have to be a graduate student to be able to get involved with our professor research. However, because we're small, we're intimate, our students get to know the professors and our professors get to know the students' passion, and they start getting them involved as early as first year. I'll have an example of that later on in this presentation. Now, just for time for a quick poll here, we do have a quick poll question if you want to participate, just to give you an example of if you pick up what I've been saying. So we'll do it for about 3 minutes.
Hello everyone, we request you to participate in our poll section. It'll be a great learning for everyone, and also it'll give us some suggestions from you guys. Thank you.
Okay, so the 3 minutes is almost up here. I'm just going to end the polling right now. And thank you for taking the time to answer the questions. And question 1, you guys are correct. We are a research university. The top answer for question number 2, 1:8 faculty-student ratio. That's great. Top ranked in 11 years, perfect. Located in Prince George, amazing. Top 250 in the world. And the last question, oh, thank you. Almost 100% said that they will send students. Now I need to find that 2 people that say no. So let me talk to you for about half an hour and I'll convince you otherwise. Okay. Now the last question is a little bit of a trick question because I haven't showed you guys a slide about that, but I'll show you that in a second. Okay. We do provide quite a bit of scholarship for our students. Okay. So while Dashita and Mehak is busy answering your questions, what I'll do is I'll continue on with the presentation. Okay. So the university has committed over $14 million of research fund from our university side to researchers and research students. So they can go on places like Antarctica, go into the Borneo forest to do research on rainforests, or they can do joint research with other institutions around the world. So for example, on the very left there, we're doing a current research with a German university right now on the spectrums of some sort of cancer cell, if memory serves me right. Okay. We do have residency on campus. It is a first come, first serve. However, it's about 207 steps away from the heart of the campus. Our dormitory is a apartment style dormitory. So they get individual rooms, their own bed, their own study area. They share a bathroom, kitchen, and living room. And also students in the dormitory or residents have access to our dining hall, which is this building right here. It's open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. And it's an all-you-can-eat option, which means that you pay once and you can go in and out as many times as you want. We do also, our chef is also very understanding of the different culture and also the different cuisines. So if you have any special allergies or special requests, the students, the chef will make Hindi only or Hindi vegetarian meals for students. We do have several that are vegetarian and they prefer the Indian spices more. So the chef has made special packages for them. So they may not participate in the dining hall experience. They just pick up their lunch and dinner or breakfast, or they can have breakfast with milk and cereal and yogurt and stuff. So remember my example about a student, why they decided to come to UNBC? Well, this student here is from Brazil, and she was accepted to University of British Columbia, University of Toronto, and also McGill University for her undergraduate program. And she chose UNBC. Why? The primary reason is the learning opportunity, the small class sizes, the undergraduate research, and the academic support. This was the primary reason. Why? Because she knows that after her undergraduate, she's going to do a master's program or a PhD. That's the path that she has chosen because both her parents are professors and they teach at a top tier university in Brazil. So she already knows that. However, she doesn't want to go to a big university because she doesn't want to be a small fish in a big pond. Her impact here at UNBC and her intelligence allowed her to get involved in first year research. She was able, by the time she graduated, to be published 4 papers with our professors. So now she's in University of Toronto doing a PhD program, doing what she likes. On top of that, she chose UNBC because we're connected to nature. That's something that she really enjoys. And there's also internships available for the different types of research opportunities that we have on campus. On top of that, there's other research opportunities that you guys can work on with our professors or externals. We do have co-op as well. She didn't take advantage of that because she was too busy with our research on campus. She was hired as a research assistant as well. So, talk about the program. We have 60 bachelors, 27 masters, and 3 PhD. Now, currently, right now, we are only recruiting for a bachelor program, so we'll talk about that and not talk about the PhD and graduate programs. Okay? So, these are our general art program, general entry program. We have Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Commerce, and Bachelor of Planning. So, for international students, we noticed that from India, a lot of students are interested in the Bachelor of Science in Biology, accounting and finance, international business. Now, our accounting and finance, if you heard of the Big Four company, in the Big Four accounting firms, the TD Waterhouse, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Ernst & Young, they come up to our campus at least twice a year to recruit our international students. Why? Because they like our international students and our students have grit, they call it. Because our students are mobile, they don't mind going to different places around the world or around Canada to do audits for 3 to 5 months at a time. Whereas students in the bigger cities tend to only want to stay in the bigger city, okay? So we're gonna go through that. Some of our unique courses that we have is the natural science, nature-based tourism management, conservative science and practices, environmental science, basically anything environmental related, that's our specialty. Now our accounting and finance, because we are more of a research university, we'll have that as well. It is also very highly ranked. We won competition for our commerce program as a commerce student in something called JDC West. Now let's take a look at the competitive entry program. Well, health science is very popular. It's also known as the pre-med program for us. The biomedical students is a competitive entry program. What does competitive entry mean? It means that students, we can only accept up to 100 students for that program. And if there's 600 students that apply, we'll only take the best of the 100, okay? UNBC currently has 3 engineering programs: UNBC Civil Engineering Program, UNBC Environmental Engineering Program, and a joint degree program with UBC, where they do 2 years at UNBC, do 2 years, another 2 years at UBC, and half a year back at UNBC, and they get a degree from UBC and UNBC. So 3 engineering programs. Now we'll talk about the admission requirements for all 3 right now. So English requirements. We take IELTS 6.5, no less than 6 for direct entry, TOEFL 90, no less than 20 in each of the modules. And right now, UNBC is piloting Duolingo. The score for direct entry is 105. So the admission requirements for BC students is the minimum average of 65 to apply. Now, getting the minimum average doesn't mean you'll get in. It's just the minimum bar for you to apply, okay? We do recommend students to get this is for BC students, not based on the Indian curriculum. Now, our average students that apply to UNBC are in the 85% range. So just because it's 65% doesn't mean that students who apply to us are around the 65% range, okay? Competitive entry program like engineering, they need a minimum summary to apply. But over the last couple of years, we've noticed that the averages to get into the program is around 85 or even 90 in 1 year, okay? So for the Indian curriculum, we do recommend that at least 60% overall for engineering, no core less than 55, and ideally from the science stream because they already have the physics, math, biology that's required to meet all prerequisites. For general programs, commerce, or even the general science, 55% with no core less than 50, okay? But this is the bare minimum. We do recommend students with higher average apply as well, okay? Finance and scholarships. So we do, for tuition 1 year is about $22,000 plus books and fees, and if they want to live on campus, plus a 7-day meal plan, total is about $34,000. So it is relatively affordable for a research university. I'll show you the difference. Now, if you look at based on the international tuition rate of the other research university in British Columbia that I explained, we are significantly more affordable than the other institution. But if you take a look at the domestic rate, which is what the government benchmarks us in terms of quality of education and what we can improve, it is the exact same cost. Of course, UBC does have some costs that's a little bit more, such as the specialized program. However, because where we are, our cost of living is lower, and we are able to provide more with less. So that's why our tuition rate is not as high as, say, UBC, and more affordable than other research university in Canada. Okay, so for those who've guessed, I guess a good 35% or 30% of you guys guessed correct. We do give away almost $3 million of scholarship every year. 25% of our students receive financial awards. Okay. Now this is UNBC. Okay. I'm going to let you talk to Badri here, which is one of our alumni, will be an alumni and is current student of UNBC. So if he's going to talk to you about what UNBC is about, what his experience is like here at UNBC, and what Prince George is like living in Prince George. So Badri, take it away.
Hi everyone. I came into 2018 in September for the MBA intake. This is my master's degree here. So this place is over. They welcome me like a family member. It's like community. I come from Chennai, and this place is very small. And people they live in a community kind of things, and they treat you like a family. and they will be like they will all like they will like there's no they'll help you out in all other like all other what is like a
So they help you in the times of needs. They
yeah.
will support you as well. And Badri, why don't you talk about the job opportunities that are available for students here?
Oh yeah. Since this is something kind of remote, also there's lots of plenty of job opportunities because there's less competition also. And now right now I'm working in for Immigration Service Society of British Columbia, where my role is to help the new immigrants coming to Canada get find jobs. So right now the job market is very good, and especially for the new immigrants and the localites here, they also they like to hire the new immigrants because they mostly, especially Indians, because the Indians are very hardworking and they really know about us. And
And also, if you have any experience explaining the difference between working in a big city versus working at Prince George or finding a job here, and what you did to, and how involved you are in the community.
oh, like for example, if in Vancouver, it's a big city and the expenses are very high compared to Prince George. And to find a job, there's lots of competition over there. And like you have to like the amount like there's a minimum wages here, right? So with the minimum wages, like you can have a very good lifestyle in Prince George when compared to living in a city in like Vancouver, where it's everything is expensive. And here the housings are very like cheap, affordable, and like what is it?
Your involvement in the committee.
Oh yeah, and here there's lots of opportunities to get involved. Like there are like many committees here, like the NGOs, like like Hostel Living North, or like a library, public library, where they will accept your applications to become part of them, and you can volunteer in lots of stuff where you can get an exposure towards the local Canadian culture, especially Prince George culture, and you will be able to see how they lead a life, and it helps us to like to understand the people, and they also teach us like how we are able to like be a part of the community also.
So Badri is a little bit shy this morning,
Yeah.
but I can tell you that Badri is very involved in our committee. An example is he's good friends with our city mayor. He's also very involved in the community in terms of being part of our Rotary Club, Chamber of Commerce. So networking opportunity here is very high for students who want to take advantage of that. You can easily through UNBC get access to these various different type of network. And Badri was able to get access to these type of network. And before he graduated UNBC, he's already got a couple of job offers and have a really tight network in Prince George. So international students, if they want to work at the fast food restaurant and immigrate, not a problem. But if you want to make yourself a success case, there is a lot more opportunity, which is easier to find in Prince George than in those smaller cities. Now, Badri is one of our model students for one of our programs because of his success with our program A, and also how involved he is in the community. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you look up his name and look up Prince George, you can find a couple of news articles about his involvement. He was involved in a lot of our community projects, such as something called Ribfest, which unfortunately this summer has been canceled, but it was very successful last year, where he helped organize a bunch of food vendors in the city of Prince George to have a day where they showcase their food, and it circles around the rib festivals and whatnot. So that was something that was done differently, but it just showcased his talent and also the embracing community that we have here in Prince George for international students. Okay, So right now, what I'll do is, do you have anything?
Oh, I'm good. Like also, we get all the support from the university also because since lecturer was saying like there's a small university, 1:8 ratio, student teacher ratio. So everyone like personally they help us. That's the one of the main reason for me to network also. That's one of the biggest advantage compared to other universities.
Yeah, so our university does help our international students and help connect them to the right people. Now, because we're smaller, we're able to do that, but in a bigger university or bigger college, it's very difficult to do that. And right now, students like Badri, some of our Chinese students, some Korean students really appreciate that help. Their career is very bright here. If they have a forestry background or environmental science, we have a lot of lumber mills and whatnot that's in town that's always looking to expand internationally. I have a student now that is doing very well in Canfor because he's a business development manager for overseas markets, and he gets a commission of the sales. So on $100 million lumber deal, how much do you think he can make? That's a lot of money, right? So I guess, Dashita, it is time for the Q&A session. Is that correct?
Yes, Richard. So it's time for the Q&A session, and there we are with a lot of questions. So I and Mehak have answered, and Shraddha also have answered most of the questions. But there are a few questions that I would like to highlight as they are one of the very common questions that have been coming up. So the first question is that what about our scholarships, like scholarships for the international students?
So the first question, scholarship question is very important. We had scholarships available for international students in the past where it's merit-based. Unfortunately, that scholarship is no longer available due to the fact that we've had over 300 students apply for that scholarship. So we are looking for new scholarship opportunity and changing a few scholarship opportunities for merit-based, meaning that when you apply, if you meet a certain GPA requirements, you'll get a scholarship automatically. The other scholarships that we do have available are through application. So once you're admitted, you have to then go into the student portal to apply for these scholarships. And those students who do apply generally do get the scholarship, okay? So that's why we say 25% of our students receive scholarship. It is very possible, okay? So the students would have to go and apply themselves, okay? If the agent wants to help them out, they can do it as well. But they do require the student to answer a few questions about themselves and the scholarship. So yeah. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. So then there's a question about our new programs, environmental engineering and civil engineering. So would you like to highlight few facts about environmental engineering and civil engineering open for all the international students?
So I'm sorry, can you repeat that question again?
Yeah, about environmental engineering and civil engineering, the new programs we have. Yeah.
So UNBC has civil and environmental engineering. Now, civil engineering mostly focus on the structural stuff. You may focus on infrastructure, or you can focus on water, civil engineering, or even soil. These are some of the specialty that we have. Where environmental, you focus on the landscape more, and you focus on the impact of, say, a pipeline going through a forest. What would be the impact of it, and how do we minimize that? So that's the environmental engineering that we have at UNBC. On top of that, they do a lot of different types of projects, like a watershed project, to make sure that the structure is sound, or soil erosion from a bridge. When you're building a bridge and you have soil erosion over time, how do you make sure that this bridge can last the 50 years that it was made to last? Okay. Now, the question that is there right now, it does say that the joint tie-up program with UBC. So there is that joint tie-up program, and that tie-up program does require students to have a higher GPA. So for the BC high school average, this intake, we took in students with about 90% average. So that would be at least a 70 in Indian scale, if memory serves me right. So they do 2 years at UBC, first 2 years at UNBC. the second year third and fourth year at UBC, and the last year, so it's a 4.5-year program at UNBC, and they'll be able to get 2 degrees, okay? But the time they are at UBC, they pay the UBC International tuition rate, okay? So that want to make that clear, because we've had several students that wasn't clear on that, and when they found out they had to pay over twice the amount of money for the same education, they decided to stay at UNBC, okay? I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Okay, so the next question, which is very famous and ongoing right now, is about Duolingo. So would you like to comment anything on that, Richard?
Yes, we do take Duolingo right now, and it is being piloted and will be approved by UNBC on Wednesday. We accept Duolingo at 105 right now. Now, the reason why it's lower, because we want to make sure that the students with for example, the psychology student, in order to get into psychology, you have to be good in English. Perhaps it was just text anxiety that the students weren't able to get to 6.5, but we're allowing students to get more opportunities through Duolingo. We're also looking at other avenues where the students can possibly come here and take a placement test. But currently, right now, we will accept Duolingo. But if the students are able to take the IELTS exam and they feel more comfortable with that, when the lockdown is over, they can do the IELTS exam too.
Okay, thank you. The next question, which is very famous over here, is that would you like to elaborate on our, differentiate between the diploma programs and the degree programs, like the degree programs that we offer to our grade 12 students?
So we are a 4-year degree program, which means that students after completing their 4-year degree have an opportunity to go to a master's program. Whereas a diploma program, students, when they do a 2-year, they have to do a minimum amount of 2 years before they can go get their master's. So it's a longer education path for them to get to where they want to be. Now, I don't know about you guys, but moving forward in the future, bachelor degrees is almost like getting a high school diploma now. Everybody has it. So how do you differentiate yourself? A master's program, Badri has 2 masters right now. So how do you differentiate yourself? So in order to do that, to be better, to get ahead, a lot of parents are pushing the students towards the master's program. Diploma program is great. It gives you the essential skills to be employable, but the master's or our undergraduate degree program will allow you to be able to continue your academic stream to be even more employable after you finish your master's. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much for clarifying the major difference between the diploma and degree programs at UNBC. And the next question is about the hostel services, or let's say about the international student services that we provide to all our international students.
Badri, you want to take that?
Yeah, like our hostel, here, they call it as residence, what we call hostel in India. The residence is it's good, but if you go, it's very close by to university, it's walkable. That's the advantage. And there's also something outside of the residence also, where there's a good Indian community. There are 2 gurudwaras here also. There's a very good, strong Indian community here in Prince George. And what was the question actually?
So yes, they also do serve Indian food as well.
Oh yeah.
Our dining hall, if they stay in the hostel or residence, they can participate in the meal plan. And we do have Indian cuisine available. Like I mentioned before, students who are Hindi and vegetarian, our chef does offer specialized meals for them, and they will cook up they cook up meals that are prepackaged for these type of students. We also have a nutrition on staff as well to make sure students with certain allergies are able to get their nutrition, and also making sure that our chef is aware of all these restrictions that they have. For example, Canada, there's a lot of people who are gluten allergic, or they have special peanut allergies, for example. So we do cater to all these type of different allergies and different types of eating habits and styles. So Indian food, our dining hall also has Indian cuisines as well, once or twice a week. So it's a popular day for students to come to the dining hall, even staff, when there is Indian food is on the menu.
Like on day-to-day basis, there are lots of international students, right? Each and every day is different cuisines. So like on request, they'll be providing you Indian food, but apart from that, as Richard was saying, like each and like once in a week or once in 2 weeks, you'll be having an Indian cuisine also, and it's very tasty too.
Yeah, must be. Okay, so I will merge two questions now. So one of our partners have asked, what are the in-campus work opportunities, if at all they're there? And then what are the minimum wages that the student can expect in Prince George during their part-time job and once they complete their program?
So I'll let Badri answer the minimum wages and also the jobs, part-time jobs, and then I'll answer the in-campus work opportunity.
Not in-campus one?
No, I'll do that one.
Okay. The minimum wages is 1285, right?
1285, yeah.
Like the minimum wages is the same as for international student as well as a Canadian here. Like it's 1285. It doesn't matter your student or anyone. The minimum wages is $1285 per hour, and international student can work 20 hours a week. That's the legal working here. And what was the next one?
Part-time opportunities.
There's lots of part-time opportunities over here. Like there's lots of Indian, like there are few Indian restaurants here who hire Indian students, as well as like there are many other like McDonald's and KFCs hire them also, and supermarkets where they always need people for the sales and stacking and everything. And there's lots of part-time opportunities over here. And there are like many other community services also where they also hire and they also give you a competitive pay also.
So in terms of on-campus work, we do have on-campus work. The reason why I know Badri so well was because Badri was one of our international student assistant that we hired. The international student assistant was to help us engage more in the international student community, and also to understand what the international students are looking for. So Badri was a past international student assistant, and that's why we got along, and that's why we are able to introduce him to you guys today. There's other opportunities as well. There is Student Life that hires international students as well to help them with their events. If the students want to get a part-time job in one of our bookstore, that's also available. We do hire students there as well. In terms of the research assistants, undergraduate students have been hired as research assistants, like that lady from Brazil or that student from Brazil. She was hired as a research assistant. And also our labs, I hire research assistants over the summer as well for international students. So in this case, we had 3 international students that are working in our Northern Analytical Lab, which is a chemistry lab that does analysis for the industry. Okay. On top of that, graduate students are able to do something called TA-ship or teaching assistantship, even sometimes be a lecturer. So we have various opportunities available for international students on campus, but off campus, there's also a lot as well. And within the Indian community, they're very good at helping each other find jobs that are available. So we so far don't have any problems with our students looking for a job that aren't able to find a job. Okay. Even currently right now with the COVID situation, a lot of students that we receive are still working because they're working in what we consider essential jobs by our government. So retails, fast food restaurants, the supermarkets, even supply chains, like if they're in logistics or couriers, they are still employed.
Okay. So that was about the part-time job. So would you like to highlight anything on the internship section that our students can enroll during their summertime break or wintertime break?
So we have a co-op office and we have internships available. Now, internship and co-op, they're a little bit interchangeable, but it does mean differently for us. Internship, you're going there to learn from the company, whereas co-op, you're actually working full-time. So co-op is actually a paid position. For our co-op, we have partnership with Electronic Arts, which hires a lot of our computer science students. We have co-op opportunities with Stem Cells Canada, which hires our biochemistry students and also our biomedical students as well. On top of that, we also have co-op opportunities with the forestry company around us. So students have a lot of different co-op opportunities if they find something that they're interested in. For example, if they want to work in a veterinary hospital as a co-op student, we can also help them arrange that to make sure that it meets their academic requirements for that. Because we offer a lot. However, not every students are interested in what we have to offer, but we don't want to limit our students' choices. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to move forward to one of the other question here about, yes, the pandemic has had issues in terms of checking marks and also getting the final results and the board exams. We are fully aware of that. So the students now, if they do want to come for for September and January, we'll take them based on what their predicted grade is right now. So they will receive a letter of acceptance based on their predicted grade or their interim grade. And once they get there, there'll be something called, it's not conditionally accepted. It starts with a P. But they will basically have a letter of offer if they want to, or a letter of acceptance as well. But when the final score comes in from the board, they will have to provide that to us at the time where they come to school. So when they arrive at UNBC. I hope that answers your question for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Richard, one of the last questions that we will come across is that how are we functioning during the time of COVID-19? So would you like to highlight anything about our online classes and the opening of our January 2021 intake?
So COVID-19 has definitely put a stop in a lot of people's plan, and it's difficult to plan for it in this uncertainty. So we do have a website available on our website that's directly on the homepage about the coronavirus, about how it's affecting our students, and students can go to that website for updates. From March 11th up till last week, our president has been giving us updates on that website just to let us know about things that are happening around campus, updates from the ministry, things international students are worried about, such as the study permits and whatnot. So we have anticipated all those questions and have it available. Now our students can always email us and ask us about if they have any additional questions about their study permit or COVID, how it affects them. In terms of the September intake, we're still looking for students. We're still accepting students for September. And if this keeps on going on, we will have online classes. Students will be able to take it from India if they're not able to get the study permit. We just don't want to delay their ability or the study time. So they can take their courses online. It is available for them, and you just have to register. So a few of our students for the May semester are taking online courses right now. So when they come in September or if they come in January, they will not fall behind in their academics. And we're also, in lieu of all this, because we do not have conditional acceptance at this point, and we're revamping the conditional acceptance, we're launching a new program called TREC. Now, this TREC program is a unique program that allows students that don't meet the English requirements but are academically stellar. We're talking about students who are in the 80% grade. But for whatever reason, maybe they only had one chance to take the IELTS exam, but they didn't do so well. Maybe they've been prepped for it or whatnot. Those students are available because the TREC program, what it does is it combines English, upgrading, and on top of that, they're able to take first-year courses. So at the end of the 3-semester, which is a 12-month program of TREC, they will gain up to 29 credits. 29 credits can be applied to their 4-year degree. So a 4-year degree is generally about 120 credits, and each year you'll take about 30 credits. So if you already have 29 credits, that means your year 1 is almost done. So it doesn't prolong their time studying with us, and it allows them to continue down their path to a master's degree or a PhD in the future. Or if they want to get the postgraduate work permit, they can also do that right away as well.
Okay, thank you, Richard. So I think that we have answered most of the trending questions. One was about the scholarship, second was about the COVID, third was about the Duolingo, and here I see most of the questions which are related to the admissions process that we will definitely take care of. And Richard, do you want to highlight any other point before we sign off?
Well, from our standpoint, we do encourage students from India to come take a look at UNBC. The reason is because we're still, I consider, a small gem in northern BC. And if immigration is something that is in their mind after they graduate UNBC, it is easier to get quotas up here than in bigger cities such as Vancouver or Toronto, due to the fact that we are, there's less applicants up here than there would be in those cities. Being in northern BC, even though we're not part of the rural northern program, you are able to get more points because you're not living in a big city. So these are the factors if you're an immigration focused agency. Other factors could be the level of education that we have. And if they are looking for a master's program, then we are able to help them with that from an undergraduate to a master's. So UNBC is a unique place in northern BC, and if there's an opportunity for you guys to come visit, please let Dashita know, and she can email me. We can more than happy to arrange a campus tour for you. Our campus is beautiful. The picture doesn't justify how beautiful our campus is. This is one of the reasons why I came up here. I'm from Vancouver myself, because the campus is a gem that a lot of more students should be aware of.
Thank you so much, Richard, for enlightening us related to each and every factors of UNBC. I hope all our education partners have enjoyed our exclusive webinar of UNBC. Hope this session was informative and you took some learning from the session. Thank you all our education agents for participating with us in this exclusive MSM Live e-Summit of UNBC. In case you've missed anything, we will be sending you all the details post this session. Also, do not forget to tune in again on April 22 according to the Indian time zone. And till then, take care and stay safe. Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.